In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this single web page about New York City. And the reason I'm going to show you how to create this web page is because I want to show you a few new web design tricks that you haven't learnt before. The first one I'm going to show you is how to add a cool font into your header up here, or into your web page in general. It's a font that comes from Google Fonts, so you don't actually have to install it on your computer or anything like that. You actually download it off the internet each time your website is run, and there's a whole stack of different fonts that you can choose. The other thing I'm going to show you is how to put an image in your header at the top here, like this panorama of New York City skyline. I'm also going to show you how to insert a video into your web page.
Center of the Arts, dining.
And I'm also going to show you one final trick where you can put an interactive Google map into your web page as well. So one that you can zoom in and out on, move around, and it will point to a particular location as well once you load up the website. Okay, so let's get started on making this NYC web page now by setting up our folders first of all. So the folders we are setting up today, I wanted to set this one first of all, number 5, videos, maps and fonts. Okay, once you've made that folder, open it up, and you're going to make 2 more folders for me, one called images and one called videos. Inside images, we've just got a picture of that panorama, which is going to be used in the header section of our web page. And then down below it, we've got the videos folder. We haven't done this before, but as the name suggests, any videos you want to include in your website needs to be saved in the videos folder. We've just got the one video here. It's just a little tourism promo video from Lonely Planet. If you're in my class, I'll give you access to the photo and the video that you need. If you're watching on YouTube though, check the link in the video description and I will provide you the sources for those. The other final thing you're going to need is just a paragraph of text that explains to people what New York City is all about, what's so good about it. I got this little snippet of information from ChatGPT, so if you're in my class, I'll give you access to it. Otherwise, just find your own little snippet of information about New York City. Alright, so to get started, you should have all that folder structure set up now. We're going to head over to brackets and we're going to make ourselves a new file. Once we've got the new file created, we're going to save it. So go to Save As. Find the folder you just created, number 5, videos, maps and fonts, and we're going to give it the name index.html. And click on Save. Okay, now that we've got this index up and running, we are going to start to write the HTML. So let's put in the doc type tag, like we always do at the beginning of our coding. And that just tells the computer we're making an HTML document. And then we can bring in our HTML tags to start off the web page. Make sure you push the closing HTML tag down the page a bit. And back in the opening HTML tag, I just want you to set the language to English. Remember, we do that just to help search engines out. If people were searching for our page, search engines like Google would know that it is written in English. So it would be able to tailor the search results for those people looking for web pages written in English. The next thing we're going to do after we've got our language set is put in the head section of our web page, and we'll just put in a title to start with. As always, it says New York City. We'll come back to the head section later on to link up a style sheet and our Google font, but for now that will do for the head section, and we'll move down to the body section. In the body section, I'm going to start with a header that runs along the top of the page that says New York City. So I'm going to create a division here, or a div tag, and I'm going to give it a unique name, or a class name. So that div tag is going to be called header. Okay, so I've created that little divider or division. We've named it header, and inside of that div tag there, we're going to create a H1 heading that says New York City in capital letters. Okay, that's all we need to put in for our header. I might save it at this point by pressing Ctrl S, and I'm just going to go and preview that. So I'll open him up. You can see we've got the New York City title written at the top there in our tab, and we've also got the header section written in nicely. The next thing we're going to put in is the main part of our web page where we put in the information about New York City. So we'll need to open up this info document and copy that text. And we're going to go and paste it in to a new division. So let's make a new div tag here, and we'll write class equals main. So that gives this div section a name, a unique name called main. And inside a new paragraph, I want you to paste in that information. So I'll use the P tag to make a new paragraph, paste it in the info about New York City, and then close off that paragraph. Alright, so that's looking good. Also in this main section, in this div tag here, I want to put in the video. So the video is of New York City, and I actually downloaded it off the internet. So if you're in my class, as I said before, you'll have access to this video. You must have it downloaded onto your computer and saved in the videos folder for now. So to put a video into your web page, it's quite easy. We use the video tag. And I've been told it's good practice before you actually put the source in. We should set the width and the height of our video. Otherwise, if you don't, you can get some flicker in your videos, which makes it a little bit hard to watch. So the width I'm going to set my video to is 640 pixels. And then I'm going to set the height, and I'm going to have that set to 360 pixels. Alright, I'll close that off. Now we just need to go in between those two video tags and tell the computer where to find this video we're going to be using. So we need to open up a new tag here called source, and then we're going to write src after it, which is short for source. A little bit counterproductive it seems, but we need to write source, and then we need to write equals and just point to where that video is saved. So it's saved in my videos folder, and it's called NYC video.mp4. And then I can close that off. If I save that and test it, I think it'll work. Let's just have a look. There we go. So we've got our video up here. We've got the information written there. The only issue with this video is that we cannot control it to start it. There's no play button. So the way you put the controls in is quite simple. You just need to go back to this line here where you've specified the width and the height. After the height, just write controls. And by writing the word controls and saving it, it'll add controls to your video player. And now you can press play.
Epicenter of the arts.
And your video will play. And you've got access to quite a few tools there. You've got the timeline that you can skip through the video with, volume, full screen mode, and you can also change the playback speed or even turn on the picture in picture mode. Okay, so that's how you get a video into your web page. It's quite simple. A couple of other things you can add in for good practice. After this source here, it's a good idea to tell the computer what type of video you're bringing in. So we're just going to write type equals, and we write video/mp4. And then on the next line, you need to write a message to display if the user cannot display your video. So it's going to say your browser does not support HTML video. And you'll never see this message if your video is working, but if your video does not work for some reason, then that message will appear. It's good practice just to have that written in there. And that's it. That's all you need to put a video into a web browser. Okay. Now the last bit that we need to put in that's new to us today is the Google map. So because our web page is about New York City, I want to get the Google map pointing to Times Square, which is probably one of the most famous places in New York City. So if you jump onto Google Maps, here it is here, I'll just go back to the start so you can watch this from the start. With Google Maps loaded up, I'm going to search for Times Square in New York, USA. Click on it, and up comes Times Square. Okay, it's a busy place, so there's a lot going on here. You can zoom back a little bit if you would like. And once you are at Times Square on Google Maps, over on the left-hand side here, I want you to press this Share button. From the Share option, I want you to embed a map, and it will embed this map into your web page in a moment. I'll give you the code for it, but before we even get that HTML code, I want to change the size to a custom size map. And I'm going to make it the same size as the video player, which is, from memory, 640 pixels width, and I think it was 360 pixels for the height. So the custom size 640 by 360. You can preview it if you want, but I'm confident that's right. So I'm going to click on Copy HTML. Let me go back to brackets, and just anywhere beneath the video, press Ctrl V to paste. And that pastes an iframe in, and that iframe tag basically contains your Google map. If you press Ctrl S to save, go and test it, and you'll see next to, here we are, next to your video, you'll have your little map, and that is interactive, so you can move around, zoom in and out, do as you please, and that is pointing to Times Square at the moment, which is perfect, just what I wanted. Once we've got that done, that's the end of that div section, so that div tag can be closed off just after that Google map. So that's a fair bit going on in that main section. That looks good. Final bit I want to chuck in is just a footer, so I'm going to make one final div tag here and write div class equals footer. And inside that footer, we're just going to write a little copyright statement. I'll just make it up. So I'm going to do copyright, and then we'll do the copyright symbol by doing the ampersand sign, writing the word copy and putting a comma. Remember, this ampersand sign comes under number 7, so you need to press Shift number 7 to get that up. And that little section there will draw a copyright symbol for us. Then write 2023 Tourism NYC, all rights reserved. Cool. That's it. So just look below. You should have a closing body tag and a closing HTML tag. And that is your structure, or the HTML structure of your page, all done. So I'm going to save that up, preview it one last time. Got our footer, video, Google Map, information, and our header. Okay, so I reckon that's looking pretty good. In the next video, what we're going to be doing is styling up this web page to make it look a hell of a lot better. So I'll catch you in that video.